This conversation is for the person who is once again in that lonely place of being a leader and living with purpose and knowing how you want to live your life, who you want to be, you
Mhm.
know, how you want to be remembered, or how
Ooh.
you want to remember your life when you get to 80s, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
I want to look back on my life and say, I did that. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I took that risk. Those risks. Because it just, we're the types of people that sometimes, yes, we become workaholics because we have that purpose. We want to see that through because when you do, that's the best. That's what I live for is like, I got over that mountain. Work it out. Where's the next one? And I might be whining the whole way.
But I think too that speaks to your ability to problem solve and to, we use strategy as such like a big buzzword too, but I think it's your ability to problem solve and to like navigate through a challenge because
Yes,
it's like who you hire a consultant to achieve a certain goal. And
yes,
to get to that goal, there's going to be problems or challenges to like get through and fix or to make better, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, it's like your ability to solve problems.
yes. Because sometimes there's no easy button.
No, there are easy buttons don't exist. I think we were lied to. If we were lied to about easy buttons,
Oh my goodness.
it's true. We were
No,
lied
it's
to.
true. And again, this is something that comes with maturity.
Mhm.
Listen, I've met some 30 something year olds that are very mature people and get that. But a lot of people don't. They're always seeking comfort and I'm not that person
Yeah.
and I'm not speaking to that person. Maybe they just want to see positive quotes on Instagram. Awesome. If that's what does it for you, cool. I
I'm
post
like,
those
scroll
up.
back 3 years, you can see some for me. It is, but I think too, it's you've heard the term too, right? Like being a wantrepreneur versus an entrepreneur. And I think Gary Vee said it. Gary Vee talks a lot about like, oh, do you walk the walk and things like that. And then, I 1000% agree. Listen, having your own business is not for everyone. Do I recommend it? No, because it requires a lot of self-reflection to the point where you like, and nobody thinks about that. Like, I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna have to like look at myself and like evaluate some things
Ah,
building a business. You never because you're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna create a business." And this goes like if you're not the face of your business, doesn't matter. You're
right.
still to your point, if you're going to lead team of 1, team of 100, team of 500, team of the world, you're gonna have to dig deep and excavate through your own stuff because it's interesting what internal dialogue kind of sets the stage for
Mm.
the business stage also.
Ooh,
I mean, we
yes.
can get into all the excavation of it all, but,
Woo.
like, you have to, like, and you have because I think at the end of the day, you have to be honest with yourself,
Yes.
and if
Yes.
you can't be honest with yourself, you're building on rocky territory.
Well, or yeah. Yeah,
Mhm,
rocky is actually a great way to put it because the days are going to be hard when you're working on your own. I when I first got into luxury and fashion,
mhm.
I've always been into fashion. I used to spend my allowance on fashion magazines when I was like 9 and 10. So I always wanted that, and I thought I wanted to start wanted to start my own business, designing handbags and clothes and things like that until
Mhm.
I got into the business.
Oof.
And my first, which I still hold on to that. The reason I got in was because into fashion when I was first recruited. I think my first luxury job was at Tumi and amazing. And then I was recruited to Gucci and I was like, yes, I never really wanted to be in retail, but I said to myself because I know myself, and I didn't even know myself well back then, TBQH. But my purpose was to work with people and also hear from the source what the market wants,
Mm.
and that's the source is the client and the people in the stores. That's the source. And then when I got into it, I was like, oh no,
You're like, what I just do?
this is hard. And I cried a lot in those first 5 to 10 years. I cried a
Ooh,
lot, you
that's a
know.
long time.
But but yeah, like now 25 years in, I'm like, I'm not coasting. Let's not get it twisted. I am not coasting. But I know myself.
Mhm.
I know where I thrive and where I don't. What's the right environment for me? I know what that is now. I know who I'm aligned with now. And it's like you can't take that away from me.
I love that. And I think it's
Yeah.
fair to say that's what you want the takeaway for people who are listening to have also is like,
Mhm.
these are the things that nobody owns. Like it's ownership of it's ownership of self. It's ownership of like how you walk this world professionally, professionally and personally, I feel like those two worlds always overlap. So
Yes.
it's how, like, what do you want your time on this planet to be? And I love that you say that where you're like, I found what feels good to me, where you thrive, what you feel good in. And I think for some people, like they're still on the journey of finding that, or they found it, and that's amazing too. It's having these conversations I feel like are so important because I think a lot of people might just be accepting like I have a girlfriend who's like, this is just the way it's gonna be. And I'm like, but
Mhm.
does it have to be that way?
Mhm.
Like can't you have both? Like, can't you be fulfilled at your job and work really hard? Does it always have to be the trade-off have to be like burnout? Like,
Ooh,
okay, yeah, I'm gonna achieve these things and it's gonna be at the cost of my health. I'm gonna be burnt out and I already know. So I think wrestling with that concept of it doesn't have like you can have your cake and eat it too.
yes.
It's not going to be easy. Like I'm not saying that there is no easy button for that,
No.
but you can find such a great balance of like what matters to you. And I think the best leaders do it. Like I don't in my heart I think that the best leaders have experienced the burnout because they've been there and they're like, "Oh, I can do this a different way."
Right.
And then they coach their team through that where it's like we're going to do this a little different.
Yes.
And I think that's really how change happens, like at the
Absolutely.
leadership level and like a sustainability level, like how people stay at a company for so like it's unheard of now, right? Like you stay
Yes.
at a company for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And I think it speaks volumes to like the leadership team.
That could go either way.
Maybe. Or the individuals, like with the people in that space, like there has to be, it's almost like a unwritten word, right? Like I get what you're saying though. Like
Yeah,
I get what you're
and
saying.
I get what you're saying. Like but it actually is the leadership. It's always leadership. Either way.
That's
It's
true.
always the leadership.
It's so funny. We, like, I don't think we said words. We just looked at each other. We're
I
like, "I know
know.
what you're saying.
Like, girl.
I know I get where you're going. I see what you did there."
Look, I'm keeping it positive, but no, but to your point, it is always
Mm.
the leadership. It is always the people who are influencing the majority of people. And again, you don't have to have a title
Mm.
to be a leader and influence other people. I've seen
Ooh,
it
say
many,
that
many,
again.
many
Say
times.
that again.
You don't have to have a title to lead and influence others. You know, one of my I have to say my specialty that taught me that I could be a consultant was I'm so lucky and grateful to have worked with the top performers of some of these very large companies. And that was where I could shine. It's just like if I'm working with a company, because some of these people, some of the sales people that I worked with generate as much per year as a company does. And I get up in the morning for that. Like, how can I help you be successful? How can I help you be objective and really look at your business? And, where are we leaving money on the table? How can we improve on this? What is burning you out? What is not working? What is working? I love that.
That's really cool.
That's like, I'll do that for free. And I do.
That's really cool. But I think too to have a co-pilot that is that thoughtful and you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yes.
one thing to be like, "Okay, vent to me as, like, a friend and
Yeah.
tell me, like, how your bad day was." But I think it's a different thing where it's like, "All right, tell me what you need to
Yeah.
do the next thing."
Yes.
It's like priming a fighter for, like, the next fight. It's like,
That.
"All right, let's look at the video, let's look at the tape, let's see where we can
Yes.
fix." I mean, I don't know, but I imagine that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's what a great analogy. It's like you're preparing a fighter, or an
Mhm,
athlete or
mhm,
someone. And yeah, you look at the play by play, and that's what the doers do. That's like what you said with your own life. That's why, I'm like I said, I'm so privileged to have taken
mhm.
time off to heal, but then start all over and look at the play by plays, of all the plays in the past and say, okay, this worked, this didn't work. That's how you figure out where you are aligned and where you're not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you did not start from scratch. I always say, like, you start from nobody. And I think it's daunting for a lot of people who are like, oh, if I have to start up my own business or I have to start this thing, like, I'm starting from scratch. And in reality, it's you're starting from experience
Right.
because you're taking everything that you've known, learned, and experienced that you remember to now and
Yeah,
influencing how you're going to build. Like, that's a powerful place to build from.
it is. And I think that there are a lot of people who fit that bill, and it's it's okay to say that you're afraid.
Yeah.
I feel like I was kind of like thrown into my whole thing because mental health is my priority after, healing from, all the PTSD and all of that. Um, but I'm still learning that lesson of like, no, you're starting from experience. You have
Mhm.
experience, you have value, you have so much to contribute. And again, that's what this is for. And I want to ask, you know, the people who are listening, what do the people that your colleagues, former colleagues, what do people come to you about?
Mm.
You know, if you can't see that for yourself, even though I suggest go look at your resume, and see how amazing you are and know that you own that. Because once again, we're in an environment right now where you have to know that because you can't always depend on companies. I mean, we're seeing that in real time. So what value do you bring? What makes you valuable if you want to take a risk or take, you know, change your path of wherever it is that you want to go? What's stopping you? You know? But that question remains like, what do people come to you for? What other questions would you have them ask themselves, Janice?
Ooh, that's a good
Mhm.
one.
This
There's
is
a
very
lot of them. I
good.
have a lot of them. I think that's excellent because it really showcases kind of it almost it's interesting because that question usually outlines like the service you can provide for people when
Mhm.
they say like, "Oh, what do people come to you for?" Like it's essentially it almost translates to like what would people pay you for to help
Yes.
them with. So it's I love that question because the follow-up question is like, "Oh, then how do you build a model around that where you could potentially monetize it in the future?"
Mm.
Um I would say what how do you want people to experience you?
Ooh.
So, there's an energy, there before I think before we even start speaking or having conversations with people, there's like a feeling, it's like a vibe check. The kids
Mhm.
are calling it, but
Mhm.
it's probably old, like people probably don't even use that terminology. But you can feel
Okay.
it an inherent energy when you talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Like are they present? Are they listening to what I have to say? Are they asking thoughtful questions? Are they curious? Are they engaged? Like, I
Mhm.
think all those things play into how people remember you. Like, it's your first impression, or it's multiple impressions, like how people perceive you over time. It's like, okay, how do you want to show up? How do you want people to experience you? And I know that might sound
Ooh,
very like
I like that.
performative. Like it might sound like, oh, like how do they want me to be how do you want me to do a show and dance for you? But really it's like what's important to you? What's important for like I want everybody who I come into contact with to be like, "Oh, I felt good talking to her," or
Mhm.
you know, regardless if we work together or we are in passing, it's like, I want people to feel good after being in my presence because I think that is it at my core, that's the most important thing.
Love.
That's the most important thing, and I'm not trying to be friends with everybody, and,
Okay.
like, I mean but you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, "Oh, I'm gonna be BFFs with everybody I come
No,
into contact
can't
with."
do
It's
that.
not that, but it's just, how can you just incrementally be a positive like, be something positive because you can control it.
Right.
Like, in a conversation, I can only control me, so I'm going to be attentive. I'm going to listen to what you have to
This
say,
part.
and I think that, it's like, what do you wanna be known for? It's like, I wanna be known for being a really good listener and being
That
able
part.
to thank you, and being able to excavate. It's interesting because and I think that goes back to your question, it's like, what do people come to you for? I'd get also really curious about how listen to the language that people use when they talk about you
Mm,
because there's so much gold there.
mm.
Like the things that you say to me, I was like, "Oh, I'd never thought like that's what I did." Because if we were in our own little vacuum and we said, "Okay, well what do you do? What's your thing?" I'd be like, "Oh, well I do brand strategy and I do, you know, a digital presence." Like that means jack diddly for a lot of people. And they're like, "Cool, okay." There's a million other people online that do the same thing. But I think what's cool is, and I think you said it too, it's like you dig out these things within me
Mhm.
that I knew it was there, but it was so thanks to you, I've shifted too in how people ask, like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, it's interesting. I've had clients call me like a brand archaeologist slash architect. So it's like I go
Ooh.
digging and I've like unearth all these things. And then it's like, let's build something cool with everything that we dug up.
Ah, I love
So
that.
I'm like, that's so but that would have never came unless you listen to what people are saying about you and your business and what you do. Like it's not even your
Wow.
business, it's like, what's your superpower? Like if
Yes.
you ask somebody that, have them tell you what that is. Like ask your good friends.
Mhm.
Sometimes good friends it's hard too because they see you in a certain light. So even like your professional people,
That
your colleagues, like
colleagues.
your leaders too, like it's such an interesting what you'll discover is such an interesting thing because you may or may not have ever thought of yourself that way. So
Yeah.
I love that part of it.
Oh, that's deep. I love
Ask
that.
all the questions. And
Yes.
then tell me more. Tell me more. What do you mean? Tell me
Yes.
more. And then when they use their own words, it's kind of like those are gems. I think I pull from those conversations like honestly, like how I structure my website, how I structure my socials, how I structure content. It's because it's so organic to how they actually speak and think. Where I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, if they're speaking and thinking this way, who else is speaking and thinking this way? Like you want to make sure you're speaking the same language.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be fancy. Like don't get fancy. It's
No.
just
Well, and you should never, that's another one that, maybe I'll do as one of the shorts. It's like, don't speak to your clients in jargon because they don't know that.
yeah.
And that doesn't mean they're dumb. They're just like, they don't work in your business,
Yeah.
so don't
And
speak in
also,
jargon.
it doesn't make you smarter than if they
That
don't understand what that is. You
well,
almost like stepped on your own foot. Like,
yes. Yes. That is so true. And it
mhm.
happens so often.
Oh, 100%.
And the last question that I would like for our listeners to ask themselves is, what types of problems do you enjoy solving? That goes back to everything that we already said. And
Mhm.
this, once again, comes from being introspective and being able to go back,
Mhm.
do those instant replays and say, okay, that didn't feel great to me. How could
Mhm.
I improve on that? And this is not something that everybody does. I'm speaking to leaders. What problems do you enjoy solving? So, like I said, for me, it's like I love helping professionals find their path or improve on what they're already doing well. I love, 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 love helping people go from good to great.
Ooh,
That's my jam
I love
because
that.
yeah, when you see someone reach their goals and you had a little part in it, it's not even selfish at that point. It's like it's such a wonderful feeling of winning and completion.
Mhm.
And that's what doers do is is become better and better from solving those problems.
Ooh.
That's what creates that leader
Mhm.
is not taking it easy and saying, all right, let me put my sleeves up. What do we got to do here? How can I help? And yeah, I think that's an important thing to ask yourself is what types of problems do I love to solve? Love to solve. Because this is something that you're going to be doing all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to see yourself. Because one of the hardest things, to your point, is I can make money off of that on my own. And it doesn't even have to be that you're starting your own company. It could be that you're shifting to a different role,
Mhm.
you know? How do I shift? How do I get even better at this one thing that I love to do?
Ooh.
I love like when I was in retail or in corporate, I just loved seeing that, just giving those high fives and saying, "Oh my God, you did it. You did it. You know, because that's what creates that leader is going through all of those tough things, seeing all those problems through, and coming out and saying, yes, let's do it again.
What's next?
What's next? We live for that stuff. That's why we also, have to watch ourselves and our mental health so that we don't become workaholics because that's purpose, not just passion.
Oh, I'm just gonna clip that and leave that in the comments.
But I think that's good. We had three great questions. What do former colleagues or your colleagues or your former leaders, if you're lucky enough to have some great mentors, what do they still ask you about, to help them with or your opinion on? Number two, how do you want people to experience you?
Mm,
Love that. That's that's not even just being introspective, that's being self-aware,
mm,
which is for a leader, you can't lead without being self-aware. You can, you know, but you're stronger and you'll have less burnout if you are self-aware, to know when, you know what, I'm a little too tired to do this. I can't have this conversation right now. And that goes with setting boundaries, which we will talk about a lot. And the third is, what types of problems do I enjoy solving?
mm.
So good.
So good. And so simple, and I think too they're ongoing, like, asking
Yeah.
yourself these questions, it's an ongoing conversation, and things will change and shift, and as they should,
Yes,
because you're learning every day, you're experiencing every day, like, these things should evolve and grow into different things.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And that evolution is the best you. And it's a doer.
It's a doer.
Oh, I'm so happy to be back and have these wonderful conversations.
You are in your natural element, let me tell you.
Oh, I appreciate you. I love talking. That's bonus points is like for me, I still remember my report cards when I was like 5, 6, 7. I got decent grades, but there was always a comment from the teacher, gets distracted speaking to her neighbor.
Oh, I used to get those too,
I bet you
but
did,
it
girl.
wasn't as nice, like, it was, like, talks too much.
I was being nice.
I would get used, like, the unsatisfactory. It was, like, excellent, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory.
Yes, yes. Distracts her neighbors. Oh, Janice, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate having these conversations with you.
Oh,
And
and I know it's just a continuation of not even one of, but it's many of many, right? Like,
yes,
I think it's just such a cool way. It's such a cool format to have conversation and, like, go deeper than the surface level stuff that we see.
yes,
And I think it gives space to, like, the lives we've lived also. It's like being able to kind of look back and kind of dissect it and what works, what doesn't work, and
yes.
what we wish we knew what we wish we knew sooner.
Woo! Oh, that's a whole series.
Right.
Oh, but
Um,
I thank you. I think you're fantastic, and I've definitely aligned with you. You're
Same.
you're one of the people that I love to, it's like it crosses the personal to professional because we're aligned and you bring out the best in me. And I really appreciate you for that.
Thank you, Seda. I really appreciate you saying that, and I the same. The feeling is 1000% mutual. I absolutely love you. I adore you as a professional. I adore you as a human, and as most importantly as a friend. And I know it's real because you pick up the phone when I call.
Oh,
You would text back real quick. We talk on like every social platform. There is a chat between me and Seda. There is an active chat on every social media platform that we're on. Um, which I
listen,
love.
I'm one of those people that will reply to the people that I love in like 5 seconds if I'm around. If I'm around. Might take a couple of days if I'm busy, but I always get back to you. And I do pick up the phone, which I do not like talking on the phone. If I'm talking on the phone with somebody, I
That's a big
love
deal.
that person.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Or I absolutely have to,
Uh,
IRS or
you're like, it's
something
one
like
or
that.
the other, and you will not know which one it is.
Oh my goodness.
Ugh,
Thank
I
you
love it.
so much. What a wonderful conversation. Next week, we'll be talking about finding your specialty. I think it's not as easy as it sounds,
Ooh, yeah.
finding what that superpower is that you have, and how to use it in motivating yourself. And this is what I
Mhm.
want. I want to motivate you. I want to motivate the doers, the people that will take that road less traveled by. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so looking forward to seeing you next week. And until then, love yourself because you're all you've got. Have a great one. Bye. Thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.